Hey everybody, it's Glenn back with another Clash Royale analysis video. Let's take a look at another game from the top 8 of the NoTilt World Championship Grand Final Series. This is featuring Line and Paradox. This was one of the wildest games in the top 8. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Especially when you have an Expo going up against a Mega Knight, and we're going to see how both of them get played. I mean, Expo kind of predict how it's going to be played offense or defensively. The Mega Knight was something else here. So Paradox comes in, brings in Cage. That gets fireballed. And we got a Miner that gets stopped by Knight. So I already told you that this is a Mega Knight deck. It's going to be a Miner Mega Knight with a balloon as kind of the cherry on top. Right now, we haven't seen any of those. We see a Musketeer that's just gonna get to the bridge and attack the tower, but it didn't. And I think that zap might not have been needed, but given what happened at the end of the game, it probably was. So, just wanted to make sure, Line just wanted to make sure that that Musketeer got none chance to get to the Princess Tower. So already 2 fireballs on this Cage that hit the Princess Tower. That got me really thinking about, like, okay, why didn't Paradox go to the right side this time? I think when I look back at this game, I watched it several times, I was thinking, okay, perhaps it's still early. At this point, he kind of has an idea of, you know, Archer, Skeleton's Log, and Ice Spirit. This is probably a Expo deck that he's facing, so he's just going to take his time and try to deal with a lot of what Line puts out there. And you know, like I said, he has a Mega Knight, so he understands that, okay, if Expo gets put out there, he's going to have a Mega Knight ready. So that was the thing about why why Paradox went to the same side twice. This was a really amazing play to try to get the balloon to the Princess Tower, and it didn't. It just stopped like a half second short. Now, why was that even possible? Because of the amazing play to get the Miner up there. So we have the balloon. So Line's thinking, okay, gotta lure the balloon away from the Princess Tower. He has this Tesla. But Paradox is like, okay, I'm gonna think ahead of you because I know you have a Tesla for this Expo deck. He's already figured this is an Expo deck. So Tesla's got to be somewhere. So let me get something ahead of everybody to where the Tesla is going to focus on that card first and then the balloon. That buys time for the balloon. You see, balloon's not taking any damage. It's the Miner that takes damage. And the only reason why the balloon's taking damage now is because that Knight got in front of the Brawler. So what would normally be a not even close to getting the tower ended up being really, really, really close to a connection right there. And so Paradox just cycles through with a zap. I promise there's a Mega Knight here. We just haven't seen yet. And there was an Expo, and Line puts it out as a defensive Expo. So we have Mega Knight here with Musketeer. This is kind of like a makeshift Gob Giant, if you will. A lot stronger. Again, tries to get Miner in front of the Mega Knight, but Mega Knight was already taking damage from Expo, and Mega Knight just never got to the tower. You just see the path of where Mega Knight went on this map. Actually, let's rewind that a little bit here. Right here, I think this is the best place to stop. So Mega Knight's already getting hit by the Expo. So when Paradox brings in the Miner, which we're going to see in a second, it's not about distraction. I mean, he could use Zap. Zap's out of rotation right now. But if he had Zap, he could have just used it right here. Zap would have brought everybody to the Miner, and Mega Knight is safe. But Mega Knight's a tank. So I think this still worked out. Even though Mega Knight never got to the Princess Tower, I think it still worked out. You know, the idea was for Miner to take care of the Expo. And so Line understands that and brings in archers, brings in skeletons, And you just want to make sure that Mega Knight just doesn't go anywhere. The Knight draws Mega Knight back. And Mega Knight just never gets to the tower. This Musketeer I thought was a little bit too high. But we're already in overtime. I mean, not overtime. We're already in double elixir time. So perhaps he understood that, okay, let's get to the bridge as fast as possible. Line brings out a defensive Mega Knight. And again, here we go. Expo versus Mega Knight. Where's the dance happening? To the center. Mega Knight goes back to the Knight. The balloon comes in. And the Tesla's focusing on the balloon. I mean, the Mega Knight first. And then the Expo, which takes it out. And that actually activates the King Tower, which was really, I mean, shocking. So, again, we have to take a look at where the Mega Knight stands as it goes through its journey up to the Princess Tower, which ended up being fruitless. Goes to the center. That's why those skeletons are there. Comes back to the Knight. And because this Expo is targeting the Mega Knight, I mean, it's obviously not going to target the balloon. But this Musketeer is safe. Here comes the Tesla. Now, the Tesla's not going to go after the balloon. The Tesla's going to go after Mega Knight. So we got two attackers on this Mega Knight. And if the balloon can get there fast enough, then it can get to the Princess Tower. That would be the hope. See, right here, balloon still hasn't taken any damage. Not until right here. Then it's still pretty healthy as it gets to the Expo. We would hope that it would have gone to the Princess Tower. It doesn't. And then now we have the situation where the King Tower is activated. I mean, this is unbelievable by line. I mean, it's just it's really amazing. So, another defensive Expo. Another Mega Knight Musketeer. And here we go again. We got to look at the Mega Knight here. This Mega Knight is taking all the damage for the balloon. And by the way, Miner got in some shots a little bit and nothing doing. So let's rewind that right here. Defensive Expo. Mega Knight comes in. Now the archers are going to stop just a little bit. That gives enough time to bring in the Tesla. And now Miner's here. So Miner's here. And everybody's focused on Mega Knight, which is the idea. This is what Paradox wanted. He wants everybody focused on Mega Knight, and that way Musketeer can help around here. Miner can get shots on the tower, and Balloon can sneak its way to the Princess Tower. But so many troops came in just to stop the Mega Knight, and those skeletons stopped the Miner from doing not necessarily massive damage, but it could have been really, really bad. Because if you look at the Princess Tower focused on Mega Knight. And those skeletons are just hit him from the back, and there we go. Now, while all that's going on, Line had already cycled back to Expo. This is why Expo decks are just, I mean, it's crazy. I did Expo 2.9 for a month, and you can check out that video. I'll put it in the notes about how that was stress. That was stress. That month was stress of doing a 2.9 Expo. But the good thing is you could cycle back, and that's what Line did. And Paradox understood this, so he did get skeletons on the board just in time. Then puts a cage down. And this is one of the things that you're going to see right here. The moment that the cage gets free, Expo goes to the tower and not the Goblin Brawler, which is something I would hope that the devs would fix. I would hope that the Expo should still be attacking the Brawler and then go after the tower. I mean, that pause right there, yeah, it helps in the... It helps Expo a lot. You know, it's like Goblin Cage could be so much better in this matchup if that was available. But it's not. So Expo is already focused on the tower, which means everybody has to focus on that. Paradox zaps it, and Paradox wastes, not necessarily waste, but he puts all his resources on the Expo to try to stop it. And at 991, this looks like Line has got it. I thought the game was over right here. You can even see Paradox. He said, well played. And now he puts another defensive tower. Only one offensive Expo at this point, excuse me. Only one offensive Expo. He comes in with a Mega Knight by itself. So no anti-air support from Musketeer. But we got a balloon. And again, everybody's focused on Mega Knight. Expo's not going to hit the balloon, obviously, but it gets rid of it, and it gets a connection on the tower, which I thought was nuts. And Paradox had already cycled back to Mega Knight and another balloon. And this ending just gets really, really crazy. Let's rewind that here. So he already cycled back to Mega Knight, pushes Musketeer forward, but hops over her to get rid of the Knight. Fireball stops the Musketeer because it already got hit with the log. And now here comes Balloon. This should be good enough for that health should be good enough for Mega Knight, but the Knight comes in and stops that. Or else we're talking about game over at this point. But the Miner comes in, and I thought this was a really sneaky arrows from Paradox. I think he was guessing that something was going to be played over here, and I think it was an Ice Spirit, but I think he was expecting skeletons as well. So he brings in the arrows right here, and Miner, is getting shots on the tower. And Line just hits Princess Tower with Fireball. I thought at this point Line was just going to cycle through to Fireballs to the end, which is totally fine in this matchup. Again, another Miner and arrows that I thought was going to be a not predictable arrows, but kind of anticipation arrows. Right here. Here comes Miner right here, and you see the arrows that are trying to follow. They get rid of them, but the skeletons got played high so that Miner had to go to them, and they escaped the arrows. So it was just the timing by Line on those archers to make sure that they walked forward and then just separated enough so that the skeletons would still be on the board was pretty amazing. And it looked like this balloon was going to connect, but it didn't. Again, you talk about two balloons that got so close to the tower. Another Miner and predictable anticipation arrows. I mean, this is really, this whole game was nuts. Right here, brings in arrows. Paradox, you can see the timing. He slowed down a little bit. He didn't just do Miner arrows at the same time. If we look earlier, I believe it was here. I believe it was here in this set. Miner comes in, and arrows come in right after. So almost immediately, like he just swiped and got in the Miner and the arrows at the same time. And I think it was, you can see the Miner here, and then the arrows later. He waited, just that 1 second allowed him to say, okay, I know Line is going to delay a little bit, but let me delay as well so that when he brings the skeletons, or if he had cycled miraculously back to archers, let me delay it just a little bit so that those arrows get him. And he did, and I thought that was the game. Line tries the fireball, and he brings in the log, which I thought was like in the back. Wait. I just couldn't believe, because Paradox got that last Miner in. So why did Line bring in that log right there, which I thought would have won him the game? You see he's flooding the the tower because he's expecting Paradox to cycle through to Miner at some point. So that's why he plays the log, because he's expecting Miner to get to the tower. If Miner gets hit by the log, it gets pushed, and then Miner's attacking one of those characters that are on the board. But Miner just waits it out and gets the shot on the tower. I mean, this was one of the wildest games I have ever seen. And you talk about in the playoffs, semifinals to decide the world champion. I mean, this is just it was absolutely crazy. I mean, just look at the stats from this game. I wish they had the matchup counter here instead they had the final hit points. But you talk about the Expos played 5 of them by line. I believe 3 of them were defensive, 2 of them were offensive, and he just cycled through everything. 9 fireballs and all of the defense just to give himself a chance to win the game. Paradox 10 miners and 5 Mega Knights with the Muskie combination in the majority of them. What a wild game! I mean, this was just an unbelievable playoff game. I mean, this will go down, as one of the best playoff games around. So I'm going to end the video right here. We're going to do a couple more from the World Championships. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.